My guy, Shane, how you living?
Good. Fabulous, man. Having a time.
I
End
love
of the
it.
month.
I
We're
love
happy.
it, dude. I'll tell for everybody else. So Shane and I were rapping in the lobby. The perfect sign of a dope mutual connections guest is when we were already getting into the weeds just on shooting the breeze before I even got to hit record. And so if that isn't the best sign for you guys are in for it, I don't know what to tell you, man.
It's the only way to do it, dude. It's the
That's
only way to
right.
do it. Thank you. Thank you for having me on, by the way. I'm
Thank
pumped
you,
about it.
man. No, dude, I got some notes here, but the first thing that I want to say is almost the instant that I saw your LinkedIn profile, we connected right away and I clocked you as somebody who I need to have on my radar just at all times.
No, I appreciate
The
it, dude.
content that you're posting right now, first of all, let me ask because I've got a theory and I
Yep.
scanned your LinkedIn, all right? I try to do my due diligence. Do you post any like just text or is it
No.
just like it's just your car chronicles?
No. It's literally just me ranting,
Bro,
but whatever.
I love it. I love it. And for anybody who's listening, if you guys aren't following Shane, you're honestly missing out because what my boy Shane is producing weekly, multiple times a week, sometimes every day,
Almost
is
every day. Almost.
is a slap in the face using like a plate of wisdom pie. Sometimes he's hitting you with the stuff that you don't want to admit that you're doing wrong. Sometimes he's hitting you with just a little bit of humor on like, hey, how to take a look at the bright side of life. But honestly, sometimes I have to scroll past your video and go, all right, Chris, maybe 30 minutes and then go back to, because I'm just not ready for what
Yep.
you're about to hit me with. And so, dude, talk to me about that real quick. How did you start doing that? Like, what is
No,
that about?
that's kind of the gist of it. Dude, I've never been a social media guy. I have an Instagram, don't use it, don't have anything else. I think I've posted maybe two things on Instagram. And I've always had the LinkedIn, but never, so to say, posted or interacted or did anything.
Yeah.
And one of my best friends, Dom Ortogali, who has a huge LinkedIn
I
presence,
know
I
my
think he's
boy Dom.
Dom, he has probably 15,000. And one night we were crushing some beers and he was just like, dude, you know what? You're being a bit of a wimp.
Yeah.
I think you have some value here to offer as far as like kind of what I do compared to what, normal SDRs do or, just people who are posting on LinkedIn as far as sales goes. It's a different lane because for the most part, most of my selling is face to face, door to door.
Yeah.
And Dom's like, dude, like you're in Rhode Island one day, you're in Mass one day, you're in New Hampshire, you're kind of all over the map in New England. You should just, start talking into your phone. Whatever comes out, comes out. And we'll figure it out as you go. And he's been kind of working with me, being like, okay, let's throw in some subtitles in your videos. Or hey, like I liked how the kind of the wisdom pie came out was just
Yeah.
like, hey, I liked how you led with a little bit of, a nugget of, something that, we don't, we know as salespeople, but we're not really thinking about all the time.
Right.
And he said, I think that's your lane. And then we kind of just did that. And I haven't really looked back. And now I'm like, damn it, now I have to freaking post all
Dude,
the
now you
time.
have to, bro. You got people
Like
tuning in. You have to do it.
the whole commenting and all that, which I honestly, I have more fun, I'd say, in the comment section of just keeping it silly
For
and
sure.
kind of snarky than the videos themselves. So it's a good time. And plus, the amount of people I've met
No,
since
for sure.
starting this has been awesome.
Like, bro, you're dropping so much value. And the thing that I like about it, and what I think that not enough people are doing on the platform is, and so there's kind of two lanes that I really lean into with your comment is there's one that's like humorously self-deprecating, but I take the value out of that self-deprecation and it's like, I think it's such a powerful thing as a sales dude to like look at everything that you've done, whether it's, for me, making a call or looking back on a recording of a meeting and going like, bro, you're talking too fast or like I sell the thing and I have no idea what you were trying to say. So I think that that intuitive kind of, hey man, what could I do better or how could I get better? I think that's so dope. And then tag along like the wisdom pie, you're honestly using real world experiences. And that's why I said in the beginning, it's like a slap in the face because we're in totally different industries, but sometimes you're dropping some knowledge where I'm going like, well, crap, dude, do I do that? Like, I just did that. Like my boy
Yeah.
Shane, like I wasn't ready for what you're trying to serve to me. And it's refreshing. And sometimes it's humiliating for me because I'm
No,
like,
believe
dude,
me, I've had the one thing with this is just like there's been a lot of like looking in the mirror, and I used to be really good about, and I'm sure you do this too when you start sales, like actively being mindful of, okay, how did that call go? I should take notes on that. What didn't work? Did I sense something that I might have said, and then the prospect, you could see whether it's a minor facial, expression or body language, how the prospect or the buyer reacted, and just kind of taking note of that. And I'm
Yeah.
sure it's this. I mean, if you want to be good at your job, you got to do that. So
No,
it's
for
like
sure. But
I hadn't been good about it until now,
yours
and
is
then
elevated though, and that's something else I'm curious. So you're a sales expert at Pacific Packaging Products. And
yeah,
so for me included, like
I wouldn't
what
say
the
expert, but
what the heck is that, bro? What is Pacific Packaging Products? What do you guys do?
so we basically are like, you've heard of Uline, I'm assuming. The click and buy, you can
Oh,
get pretty
yeah,
much
yeah,
all
yeah.
that. But we kind of take it to a neck. It's a lot deeper than that. As far as we're more in the consulting space for large scale manufacturers, distribution companies on everything from custom packaging to just warehouse supplies, work with the customer and be like, okay, what are you seeing as far as like how you want to protect your product, this and that. So we're obviously supplying the boxes, stretch wrap, tape,
Mhm.
all that jazz. And then also, working with them as a packaging consultant of like, okay, you're rolling out this new line of product. Here's what we have done in the past with similar applications.
Yeah.
And then we kind of take it to another level as far as like I how I tell people and explain what Pacific does is Pacific is like a bank, and most companies are giving 30-day terms, and that's it. If you're lucky and you're a big company, you get 60, 90,
Yeah.
90's tough, but
Kind of
like
the cap. Yeah.
exactly, where Pacific will come in is utilizing as much capital as possible and spreading out your money. So, like, a good example of how I would land a whale is being like, "Hey, like, I might be a cent or 2 more on boxes, but the fact that I can do this thing where we call consolidated billing, where we'll instead of billing that order that month, we push it to the next month.
Mhm.
So you are basically spreading out your thing from 30 to 60 days. And if you order more than 4 times, a month, you're getting 4 different invoices, and people don't think about the fact that those invoices cost money, like,
Yeah.
just to process them, and all that, and now instead of 4, you're getting 1 invoice, so it's just streamlined. We call it lean supply chain management, and that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
really where we excel, and then it just helps on top of that we also convert packaging materials, so, like, aside from just being a distributor, we'll bring in, stretch film, for example. We'll bring in massive, 30-inch length machine film, 10,000-foot rolls, and then cut them into specified sizes for people. So when we go to a manufacturer and work with a manufacturer of stretch film to sell their product, we have a leg up in price because we're also a converter. You know
Right.
what I
And
mean?
you've already got like this specified, unique, like we could just boom, 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 and then let's rock and roll.
Exactly. And then on top of that, Pacific is very good about paying their bills. So that kind of gives us a leg up with our sources and gives us better pricing because we pay our bills in 10 days. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Fire.
So,
Fire.
but
That's cool. And I
yeah,
mean, like, correct me if I'm wrong. I know that because I work in the manufacturing world to the extent that if somebody doesn't pay, it's sent over to me. And I know that a
perfect.
massive challenge in that world is like the manufacturer has to pay for the operational stuff, like the boxes and the wrap. But sometimes they're on like a net 30 or 60 with their customer. So they got to pay this invoice prior to
Uh-huh.
them getting the money from the product that they've already paid an invoice on. And so it sounds like what you're doing by giving them that allowance of like a, hey, we're going to bill you the next month so that invoice your boy real quick, collect on your funds, and then
Yep.
use those funds. And that's what you use to pay us rather than being that middleman just waiting and hoping so that you can break even.
Exactly. It's just again, like exactly like you said, stretching out your capital so you can actually buy the stuff that makes you money. Think about a food manufacturer. If you're manufacturing calzones,
Yeah.
and now you have more capital to go out and buy pepperoni or flour.
Okay.
So
No,
um,
that's fire,
there's
man.
yeah.
That's fire.
So again, the packaging is such a people don't think about it, but it's like it's needed everywhere. It's an industry that's never going to die.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of money in it. There's a lot of money in it.
That's so wild.
I
What a
don't plan on doing
pocket,
anything.
dude. What a
Yeah.
pocket to find.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a niche. It is a niche. Wait, remind me, you're in
Yeah,
sale in
credit and collections pretty much. So like
okay,
I'm the senior sales director overseeing a sales team that pretty much sells our services for billing and invoicing, early
okay,
intervention, debt collection. If it is a large enough balance, we do
yeah,
litigation. But yeah, I'm in the world that's like you didn't pay and then you communicate with somebody like me. So
gotcha. So I am kind of speaking your language a little bit
oh,
when it comes to
100%,
that. Yeah.
100%. Credit
Yep.
utilization, expanding net terms so that, companies, manufacturers can
Yeah.
have a greater overhead cost, a little bit less risk involved as well. So 100%. No, I'm into it.
Yeah, and especially these days, everybody's so price, 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 and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, if you can provide something of value like that, that I bet you 99% of packaging companies cannot.
Yeah.
Now you're talking more this is more of a business owner's language, a president, a CEO's language than just say a buyer or a warehouse manager.
No,
You know what I
for
mean? And
sure.
now you're in. You're
Yeah.
completely cemented in.
Well, because like you're addressing overarching overhead cost, not like,
Exactly.
hey, what's the quick win? But like, hey, man, how can I reduce overall financial bandwidth and make it more efficient and better? Like, something I always tell my sales guys, especially because the cost thing comes up all the time. I say, look,
All the time.
for any service anywhere in the world, you can have it two of three ways. It could be really cheap, you can get it really fast, or it could be really good. But you
Yep.
can't get all three. And
You
so
can't.
it's up to your prospect to pick the two they want. Do you want it really good and you want it really fast? Well, check it out, baby. It's not going to be cheap. You want it really cheap and you want it really fast? Sorry, Chuck, it's not going to be very good. And so understanding which two of those three that your prospect is interested in, that's what really helps me drive the boat
Give me
into
that again, because I gotta write that down. So you said speed,
uh,
because I like that. I'm gonna use that in a meeting.
you
Speed,
speed,
quality,
quality, and cost.
and cost. And you think you can get 2, but all 3 is impossible
You
in any
can't get all three.
I genuinely agree. I genuinely don't
Oh,
think you
dang, I
can.
thought you were going to say disagree. And I was like, my
No, no, no,
boy
I don't.
Shane, you hit me
100%.
with wisdom pie on the
I
call.
mean, there's some honestly, like, there's some things
No,
I
I'm,
can
I'm sure there
with
is.
products, but at the same time, in reality, getting all 3 is few and far between.
Yeah, yeah. Like you got a straight unicorn if you can grab all three. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, man, use it, run with it, claim it as your own. I didn't come up with that. I'm sure
No.
somebody posted on LinkedIn. I was like, "Ah, I probably got to jot that down."
No,
So,
exactly, exactly. Everything's borrowed ideas, dude.
no,
It's
for sure,
it all
for sure.
flows in the ether and comes back to people. It's like, "Hey, you know,
Yeah,
I said it, but it
check out
probably
what I
wasn't meant."
learned.
Yeah, exactly,
So let me
exactly.
go back, and I normally like to start. I saw that Pacific is headquartered in Wilmington, Massachusetts. Is that where you are? Hold on, real quick. See if you can just pop it back on. I don't know how to do that. Or hold on, I'm gonna stop it and then just kick it back on. Back in the game.
Okay, should I press refresh?
No, I think you're good now. I'm seeing the
Okay,
red dot on your side.
alright, because I still got your recording has stopped, either learn more or refresh. I mean, I'm fine leaving that there if it's
Yeah,
recording.
maybe just leave it there, but from my
Okay,
side, it
yeah, I
looks
don't
like
wanna
it's
screw
good.
with it.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Where
Anywho,
were we? What were you
so
saying?
yeah, I'm out of Boston. I'm in
Okay,
Somerville, but I'm 5 minutes from downtown Boston.
okay,
Wilmington's about 20 minutes away, but we don't the one nice thing about Pacific is I don't have a set territory, so
okay.
to say. So if I wanted to go and sell to someone in California, I can sell to someone in California.
Sick.
Granted, I'm not gonna be able to provide the services as far as I can stock and ship next day, but I can, drop ship or ship from Wilmington to,
True, yeah.
wherever. I could sell to someone in Europe if I really wanted to. So,
Fire.
it's really cool. So the kind of the net
What are your
yeah,
marching orders? Like, so I guess a couple questions, because I think the fact that you are mainly a face-to-face seller is honestly so wild to me in this
yeah.
evolving digital world. So like, are you popping in cold? Do you get a list of that you pop in cold?
For the most part, it is always cold.
Bro.
It's always cold, and I'd say, I remember when I first started, my boss was like, "You need to have this amount of meetings scheduled per week, blah, blah," and I was like, "That's unrealistic." And when I would report back to him on our little pipeline meetings was that, "Dude, I'm just coming by and feeling out the buyer to the point where they tell me when they're available, and
Yeah.
then I'm putting that on my schedule and be like, 'Alright, I'm gonna pop by X, Y, and Z company because I know Jim has 2 hours of just cleaning out emails, and he's happy to talk to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's just it is definitely a whole lot of popping by cold. I do obviously schedule meetings and that happens, but for the most part, most of my interactions are cold. Even customers I've been working with for,
that's so
since I
wild.
started 4 years ago, I'm coming by saying hi. Sometimes we're not even talking about work.
Yeah,
And it's just, I was in this area
I
at
was
this
in the area. Yeah, hell yeah.
and I come by, say hi, and I think there's a lot of value in that, especially these days with everything being so virtual. People, and then I think it was just kind of the perfect storm because I started right after COVID, and people were kind of starving for
Yeah,
face to face
interaction,
human
real.
interaction. And I think that really helped me to start.
Do you like in your sales cycle, on average, how many times are you popping into the same place before your pen to paper?
Okay, so I think I talked about this on one of the videos. The average is probably 10 to 15 times before you are getting some sort of business.
All you salespeople listening, y'all are weak. Y'all expecting conversion after 5 LinkedIn DMs? Like my boy
No.
Shane hitting 15 in-person pops. Come
But
on, bro.
it could be a mixture, you know what I mean? It could be, maybe 7 drop-bys in person and then a couple calls, a couple emails. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, man, especially today. It's hard. I mean, I'm not like making excuses as far as cold calling on the phone, but it's hard to get people on the phone and it's hard to get people to
100.
answer their email. Um, yeah, I mean, those 10 to 15 interactions before you get any sort of business going are usually a mix of the 2 or of the
Yeah.
3 ways you can
Bro,
contact a
that's
customer.
wild though.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
super
fun.
inspired by what you do, man. Like
Thanks, man. I appreciate
I
that.
don't think that I could wake up every day and be like, all right, I mean, keys in the engine, turn this bad boy
Yep.
on, we hitting the road. Like, how much time are you in the car? Call it a
Oh my
week.
god, so someone actually commented on a video and said exactly as I did 40,000 miles in my car last year.
Dude.
And I think I gotta find out who it was because it's gonna bug me and they deserve a shout out. But he said something along the lines of, okay, I did the math. It would end up being, you spent 28 days
Yeah.
in total in your car.
A
Which
month?
no, 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 over the course of the year. So if it's say
Okay. Like
so say I
straight,
do
just only driving.
yeah, without a doubt, every week I'm on the road at least 4 days. Usually a half day on Monday, a half day on Friday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is I'm in my car at 8 a.m. I'm not getting home till probably 5:30, 6 o'clock, depending on
Dang.
where I am. It could be later.
Yeah.
So, and then on top of that, you get back and you have to do desk work. So
Yeah. Bro,
yeah,
that's wild.
it's
That's
fun though.
wild, man. I
It's
couldn't
fun, man.
do it. I couldn't do it.
It's fun. I
Were
mean,
you
do you enjoy like, you know what I mean? Don't you get sick of, like, just being in front of a
Oh yeah.
screen all day, you know what I mean? So, like, I don't know.
100%. I mean, outside of the fact that I get to like talk to dope people like you that have nothing to do with like what I'm trying to sell. Yeah, it's awful. And I'll look for any opportunity where I could go and have lunch with somebody, existing
Yeah.
client, prospect. Shoot, dude, I'll go and have lunch just by myself just to get out of my house.
Well, that's
And
me every day,
I'll
bro.
call it a work day. Yeah.
Lunch solo most days. It's
I
crazy.
love it. I love it. Were you doing sales before you were with Pacific?
No, I just got out of college.
Dang.
Dude, I was actually a poli sci major. And, my grandmother worked at this company, and then my dad worked at this company. And then
Sick.
my dad now is the main guy, so to say, in the Caribbean. He's out of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, and they're more in manufacturing, so to say,
Okay.
of packaging. And I had always been like, I'm not going to work for Pacific. I worked in the warehouse when I was in high school and for 4 years. And I was like, all right, I'm going to study poli sci. And I was just so turned off by politics and how emotional people were getting. And I was
Yeah.
just like, I'm not. I tried to go the lobbying route. I interned at a lobbying firm, which is kind of similar to sales. So that there
Yeah.
was definitely that desire to do the being a person, helping people and selling something. But yeah, it came to the point where I was like, I don't really know what to do. And I don't want to get into politics. And my CEO now, who I've known since I was a kid, he called me. I didn't call him. He called me and he goes, "Hey, I want you to come in the office. Let's talk." And I sat down and talked with him. And he was like, I was expecting him to like offer me like a buyer role because
Okay.
growing up, like I looked at sales guys at Pacifics like gods. Like these
Yeah.
guys were dogs. They're driving Porsches and and I
Sick.
would just be coming in, working in the warehouse, and I'm like, damn, he's got this, he's got that. Wow, this guy's the man, whatever. And he's like, no, no, I want you to sell. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I want you to sell. I'm gonna start you on this, which was nothing. It was
Yeah.
just disgusting salary.
Just like,
And
but to get your feet wet, and it'd be
yeah,
like,
it
hey,
was
wait a
like
minute, some momentum.
enough to pay rent and buy like the worst beer of all time.
Yeah. Hey,
And
man, I still
yeah,
drink the
it's the
worst
best.
beer of all time. Okay. So
It's the way. That's how the rich stay
don't
rich,
knock it. You know what
This
I
is how
mean?
the rich stay rich. And so that's how it started. And then, like,
Uh,
from there, they didn't give me any accounts to start. It was just all, okay, Shane, go. So
dude,
you
I
kind of have to
love that,
figure it out.
man.
You got to figure it out as you go. It stinks, but like I don't think no school can teach you what
Yeah.
experience can teach you going and getting doors slammed in your face and
No, for sure.
eating turd sandwiches day after day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, just catching all those L's, man. I always
so
say
fun.
nobody grows up and wants to be in sales. Like, come on.
No, no one does.
I feel like we all just accidentally find a spot and then you build some momentum and then you see a little bit of coin and you're like, whoa,
Yeah,
we can make a little bit of money doing this.
yeah, dude.
So we just accept the misery and we move forward.
It's the only job where you can give yourself a raise.
Yeah.
That's you know what I mean? Like you
No,
have to
dude, spot
you
on.
work your ass off. You're giving yourself a raise. You don't have
For
to ask your
sure.
boss for anything. You don't have to prove anything to him. The only way you're proving yourself is by going out and getting more accounts and be like, oh wow, I'm making more money this month. Let's
Yeah.
freaking go.
Dude, I
That was
love
all
it,
me.
bro.
So
I love it. It makes
sales is awesome.
suddenly makes the misery worthwhile, I guess.
It
Um,
does. It definitely does.
talk to me.
How long have you been in sales?
I've been in
How
sales,
long have you
shoot,
been in
dude.
sales?
So, good question. I worked in a warehouse for my brother's engraving company,
Let's
probably
go.
yeah, like laser engraving. I was doing the packaging, the boxes. In fact, we did so my claim to fame was I landed an order with one of the Kardashian stores, Dash, and we made these little white keychains. And so
Mhm.
we had these big pallets of acrylic. We put it into the machine, and then you take it, you got to pop out each of the things. They had these, dude, these stupid small letters. So you have to pop out each of the DASH in the
Yep.
keychains. And you finish, and then you go to ringing. We didn't have a machine. You're sitting there with pliers doing the, all right, got that ring on. All right. And we're doing like 5,000 a month, bro. It was
Holy
like,
crap.
and
Oh
then you
boy.
put it in the little baggie and then you hit it with the
Oh,
hair dryer
Chris, you
so it
there?
can kind of vacuum seal.
Oh, you're frozen.
My back?
Yeah, yes, you're back. I can hear
All
you,
right.
but okay, there we go. We got some movement. We're
Yeah,
good.
yeah. But long story short, yeah, man, I was living in that. So leading up to, I probably been doing sales the better half of 17 years.
Wow.
But I took a break for a while and I was the head soccer coach of women's soccer at Cal State Northridge.
No way.
I have loved soccer my whole life. And so I did that for about 5 years. And that is what kind of primed me for the type of leader that I want to be, which is the cool stuff that I get to do now. Like still sales
Yep.
ingrained, but I'm trying to build monsters. I got people in Pakistan, Costa Rica, in Hawaii, all across the US. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing right now in sales. And then
I love that.
I dabble with some of the whales just to relight the flame, remind
Yep.
myself I still got it in me, you know?
Yep. I know exactly what you mean. But yeah, I think that yeah, I think that's the goal for most, I'd say, salespeople. Managing people, and that's a tough thing to do. Just getting into that leadership role sounds really fun, and teaching people who
No,
have
for
less
sure.
experience than you. That's dude. I think that's the dream on
It's
my
super
end.
fun. And to be fair,
Um,
and it's so unfair how it works, but I've learned more about how to sell better from leadership and just like learning things from my guys than I
yeah.
have from probably any of my experience. Like I'm listening to
Really?
calls and I'm going, what do you think? And then they go,
Okay.
well, I should have done this. I'm like,
Frozen
"Sh-
again.
it's all, but can you hear me?
Wait, oh shit. You there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
My laptop is about to die. Let me plug it in real
No, you're
quick.
good. You're good. Go for it.
Didn't even notice. Stay with me. Here we go. Let's see. I always forget, dude. My laptop is from circa. I think I gotta say probably 2017.
Still
And this
got
thing,
AOL on that bad boy or what?
yeah, I got AIM, instant messaging, all that. So, you remember AIM? Oh my God.
Oh, for
I used
sure,
to talk
dude.
to, I used to talk to girls on AIM. It was like
Bro, if
the
you weren't 2 in the morning in your undies, just like going
yeah,
for it before school the
fired
next
up.
day.
Yep. Yep. I got in my dad's PS2 collection. I'm playing Grand Theft Auto. He doesn't know.
Get it, bro. Oh, it's so funny. But yeah, that's my little sales journey. It's cool. I like what I do.
I love it, man. That's
I want to
awesome.
hear more about you, bro.
Yeah, sure.
You always been on the East Coast? Is that where you started off?
Yes, I went to school in Rhode Island, Salve Regina. I grew up in New Hampshire, so I mean, I've been in New England for most of my life.
Cool.
Was
I hear
I
it
spent
in your
I
voice.
spent a yeah, oh yeah. I spent a couple of years in the Dominican Republic when I was a baby. I think from like 3 to 6, I want to say,
All right.
and then moved back here. And yeah, my dad was kind of has been splitting time between DR and Boston. He's originally from Lawrence.
Okay.
So yeah, the family and me have been here for the most part, but everybody else is like me and my sister are the last of our family, so to say, in New England. Everybody else, my mom's in Costa Rica, dad's
Okay.
in Santo Domingo, my grandmother and my cousins are in Puerto Rico. So most of my family is in Latin America. Actually, my dad's my gringo cousins, as we would say.
Yeah.
They're in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Okay.
But yeah,
Sit.
we're slowly migrating south. This is what the trend is happening. I think my sister's moving to Miami in September. So
Okay, I was just gonna say, do you make it to Florida a lot or?
I don't go to Florida that much. I go to the DR a lot.
Okay.
I'd say the DR is probably it's starting to feel more home than it is
Mhm.
up here. Dude, I probably go every other month. I have a lot of
No
friends
way.
down there, a
That's
lot of
fire.
connections, and it's a beautiful country. I think a lot of people sleep on the DR.
Yeah, for sure. I never
So
been there, but I have some clients over there and it looks phenomenal. Like I
yeah.
was totally ignorant to what the lifestyle would be like if I didn't have some clients and homies there that are there
Yep.
now. Yeah, we're for sure sleeping on it. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it's come a long way. It's Santo Domingo in particular is looking more and more like Miami.
Sick.
It's like any country, it's got its bad places, but like for the most part, like you can go out until 5 in the morning and I'll be okay. You know what I mean?
Hell
I'm
yeah.
not really worried about my life.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
yeah, it's an awesome country. It's a good
do
time.
you make it up north, East Coast often?
Yes. So I'm a big snowboarder and I go up to Stowe, Vermont a lot, and which is with the Northern Kingdom in
Yeah.
Vermont. Go to
Okay.
Jay every now and then,
Sick.
a couple times a year. I love Jay Peak. But yeah, and then New Hampshire, I'm from New Hampshire. I've been all the way up to the mountains in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Thousands of
Bro,
It's
that's
beautiful
fire.
up there. Have you been up in up there at all or
Not during the winter season. Like my exposed, so
beautiful?
my mom was born in New York, like in Syracuse area, Port
Okay,
Jervis,
yep.
if I will.
That's
So
deep. That's
yeah,
deep.
no,
Yeah.
it's deep. So I've been all around New York, including the city. But the reason I asked if you like the northern area is my wife's favorite state in all of them is, or I shouldn't even say state, I'll say city, is Salem, Salem, Mass.
The witches, yes, you
Yeah,
big witch
she's
believe?
like, dude, she's a
Yeah.
spooky person. She likes
Dude.
hollow, like
Oh,
that's
the
her deal.
spook. Oh man, the people go crazy for the
Bro,
spooky
they
places.
are
Oh,
out of their minds, bro.
dude, it is. You will see some creatures in Salem.
Yeah.
Oh my, especially during Halloween. I
Oh,
went with
we
my
go, bro.
girlfriend.
Have you gone?
Yeah, I went last year with my ex girlfriend, and it was like the people watching alone
Yeah.
was amazing.
You got weirdos, bro. It
Oh,
freaks,
everyone. It was
weirdos, goth
hilarious.
central. It's
Yep.
honestly, it's phenomenal. It's so fun.
Yeah. You have like Satan worshipers, and then you have like chicks selling crystals and like
Yeah.
talking about chakras, and I'm like, what does this have to do with Halloween?
No, they really ran with the football on that one, dude. I'll
Dude,
tell you.
they'll find their way into anything. It's so funny.
No, it's a city full of weirdos, bro. I love it.
Yeah. Yep.
So much
Or
fun. Where I
everything's
want to
looking
get
maybe.
to is I never been to Maine. And I don't know
It's
why
beautiful.
my heart is set on Maine. Yeah, like I've seen the pictures, I heard this. It just looks beautiful. And so that one's on my radar right now is
You would really like, I could tell you would like Portland.
yeah.
Portland, Maine is like if Trader Joe's and Walmart had a baby. That's
Okay,
how I explain it.
sick.
'Cause
All right.
you have like again, you think about, you have like the rugged, so to say, more suburbia of Maine, because Maine's huge, and then you
Yeah.
have the more liberal, open-minded Portland right there, and they
Yeah.
kind of, and it's such a fun town,
That's
and it's
fire.
it's beautiful. The coast of Maine is gorgeous. I spent a lot of time there when I was a kid.
No, hell
It's a lot of
yeah.
fun.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
beautiful beaches
Yeah,
too.
I gotta get to Maine.
You would like it. You should fly to Boston. You
Yep.
come, we'll go crush a couple
I'll
beers, get
come
some good
swoop
food,
you and we'll
and then we can go up to Maine.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
down.
tag Salem on the way there. So,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. It's
just
got to be during Halloween though.
just to say what's up.
It's dead. Like aside from Halloween, that place is
I could imagine.
it's beautiful though. It is
What
right on
I
the wall.
what I guess I didn't realize is it's not big. Like you could
No,
slam all of Salem in 45 minutes on a
easily.
bicycle. Like to get after it.
Yeah,
So,
easily.
no, for sure. Well, all right, that's a deal. We'll write it in stone. I'll swoop you, slam some beers, Salem, and then go and hit up Portland. That's the
I'm
game.
in.
I love it.
I'm in.
I know we're getting close on time, but I want to pepper you a few more things. Are you a sports guy? You like
Big
sports?
sports guy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
grew up playing sports. I think that's why I'm so competitive in sales. I mean,
Okay. Hell yeah. I agree. I agree. There's something.
grind it.
There's a gusto that comes. What's your stick right now? Who are your teams? Let's go
Oh,
after
dude.
it.
I mean, God, I haven't gone to enough Sox games, but last year I think I had to have gone to 30 games, and
Okay.
like, and it's just there's nothing better than Fenway. Honestly,
Yeah.
there's nothing better than Fenway. I love going to Celtics games. I went to a few C's games. Disappointing season, but I went to a few C's games last year. Went to a Bruins game. I love all Boston sports. There's something
Yeah, bro. There's
different here when it
the
comes to sports.
fanhood of Boston. You're right. It runs deep.
I got goosebumps right now talking about it because it's such a emotional connection to the city and as far as the fans and the teams all have and
Yeah.
just the history that is rooted in this town. I don't even
No.
call it a city. It's a big town.
No,
Boston is
it's a
just a
big.
big
But to your point, dude, it's so funny. I feel like for every sport, especially in Boston area, like you guys have history to your
yeah.
sports teams. It's not like, hey man, we were created in the early 2000s. We're trying to get your steam. Like, bro, you
Yep.
got like Sandy Koufax visit
Yeah.
Fenway. Like you had some real
Uh-huh.
historical monsters. And I think it adds to it for sure. When I went to
Yeah.
Boston, we visited Fenway. That was on my bucket list. I'm gonna lie to you, bro. I bleed blue all day. I got every championship World Series Dodger hat in the I
That's
know,
all right.
I
That's all
know.
right.
But
You're
I
welcome, Mookie Betts, by
yeah,
the way.
yeah, I was
You're
gonna
welcome.
say,
That guy would be nothing without us. Nothing, dude. You're welcome.
man,
But
that's so funny.
I respect the hell out of the Dodgers. I always said this growing up too. My guess who my favorite baseball player was growing up?
Growing up,
Yeah.
man.
Actually, I'm sorry. Actually, today in general,
Still your favorite player,
still
retired, obviously, but not dead.
it might be a tie with a Boston legend.
Okay.
But who would you think is my favorite MLB player of all time?
Man, I'm trying to think of his name. It wasn't the catcher, was it? Mike, what was his name?
Jason Varitek. No,
Dang. Who, all right, who is it? Lay it on me.
Derek Jeter.
Jeter.
It's
Okay.
Jeter, dude. As a Red
Okay.
Sox guy, I got Big Poppy. Big
All right.
Poppy's at the top. Big Poppy and Jeter. Okay, Big Poppy's probably got him a little bit. Let's
A
let's be
little
real.
bit, just because
But
Jeter was a Yank. So,
dude, I can't like it. One, the Red Sox would be nothing without the Yankees, and
yeah.
I'm probably the only guy from Boston to say that.
No, but I mean, the rivalry
The rivalry is
created the
oh
allure
my
of both of them for sure.
such a beautiful storyline of two teams and cities just battling for years
Yeah.
and years. And then back to Jeter, on and off the field, just a freaking stud, dude.
Just a killer. Yeah.
Just a
Just a
killer. The
killer.
way and the way his career ended was like clearly had a hand
Oh, yeah.
in this man's career. Oh
Bro,
my god,
come
dude.
on.
I think I cried
So,
watching.
I think I cried too. That was the walk-off hit, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then his kid the hat, and I'm
The
like, oh
hat,
my god, dude, I lose my
man,
mind.
you're bringing it back,
And
bro.
of course he's wearing pinstripes or whatever, but at the same
Yeah.
time, dude is just I think on and off the field, just the type of guy any man can, or a kid growing up can look
No,
up,
for sure.
you
Well,
know.
shit, dude, that's why I love sports. Like, and
Yeah.
that's why I I love my teams, but I like the players. And so I show allegiance. I
Yeah.
don't care what team you play for. If you give me that special feeling, like, bro, I'm gonna ride with you all day. All
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, and
So,
there's a big I'm sure you could attest to this, that shift from teams to focus on teams to players.
yeah.
And I think it's cool. It's a good thing, but we can't forget, that it's no iron team. This is all about,
No, for
winning a
sure.
championship. But I think there's a little bit of too much focus on the ego on each player. But at the end of
No,
the day,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
players run sports now,
All
which is
day.
really cool.
All
Yeah,
day. Like, dude, for me, I'm a big soccer guy. So I mean, I've
soccer's
been
awesome.
a Manchester United supporter since I was 4 years old. And
You ever
That
go to a
team,
game?
one time.
That
But
must be electric.
when they came to the US though,
Okay.
so I
Oh,
was like, it's
you gotta get out
cheating. Did I go to Old Trafford? No, but it's on my radar for sure. They're awful. They've been awful the last 10 years. So, but that's still my team. Like I always tell
there.
my wife, you want to know how I'm loyal? Like I'm still rooting for these guys and they are rubbish. Like, but I
I mean, the
ride with
Patriots
them.
are
Yeah, no, okay, so yeah, for sure.
yeah.
But I think that that kind of plays into what you were just saying about like, I love the players, man. Like, forget
Yeah.
the people on my team. That's my team. That's my gold. But you see that dude on the other team, like
Yeah.
that guy is fire. And so I think that's what a real sports fanatic, like that's the stuff that you got to harvest for sure.
Yeah. Who's your favorite player? It says a lot too. Like, I think like when I talk to people, they're like, I'm like, oh, who's your favorite player growing up? And they'd be like, this guy. And I'd be like, I like that.
Yeah,
It
I
says a lot.
like that. I like that, especially when they throw some like off the cuff, not a big
Yeah,
name, but
dude.
you're
Oh
like,
man.
bro,
Oh yeah, dude. You know what we were watching the other day was funny over Memorial Day weekend. Was watching like 2000s NFL highlights.
okay.
It's just like just how much different and
Sometimes
better.
you got to go back.
Dude, but I mean, I actually I think I talked about it in a video. Like it was like me and five buddies just crushing beers, watching 2000s highlights, 2000s
So
NFL
sick.
highlights, and I'm like thinking, oh my god, like Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, like
And they were ripping each other's heads off back in the
yeah,
day.
like
Like,
you remember Patrick Willis, like
come on,
dude,
dude.
like those names I haven't heard in so long, and it was so nostalgic. It was
No,
awesome.
for sure. Man, I love that. I gotta go slap on some old schools just to like relight the flame. I feel like across the board, maybe not with baseball. Baseball, that's America's sport. It's traditional. They try not to muddy the rules. They did speed up the tempo a little. I'm cool with that.
That was needed.
It didn't mess it up too much, but
Yeah,
especially in the NFL world with like, rushing the passer and like,
different game.
dude, you got to be so delicate the way that you touch people in today's world. And,
Yeah,
going back to those highlights you were what they were ripping each other's heads off and you
dude,
didn't see a
straight
flag for days.
helmets, leading with a
Helmet to
helmet
helmet
straight to the
action,
chest,
bro.
and like decapitating wide receivers on slants. Like, oh my god,
Yes, dude, there
it
was
was
no
man.
CTE, baby. We're not
No,
tripping
that
about
didn't exist.
concussions.
No,
Like,
that wasn't a that didn't even exist.
it's not a thing. Like, get the
No.
ball in the end zone or go home. Like,
Yeah,
I love it, dude. The grit.
gladiator stuff for
For
sure.
real. For
Still
real.
love the NFL. I still love it, but still not the same.
Definitely. Yeah, man. Nothing better than it being a weekend, popping open some brews, and honestly, any sport that's on. I'll leave one more thing because
Dude, I
my
could
whole,
talk for days with you.
I know, yeah, bro, we're ripping. I told you, we're for everybody listening,
I'm
we're
having a
miles
blast.
past time. We threw time out the window.
Bad. It's a
Are you
construct.
are you a golf guy?
Dude, I like am and I all of my friends are big into golf.
Yeah.
And my dad, since I was a kid, was like, dude, you gotta get good at golf. It's good for business, blah
For
blah
all the
blah.
business deals or yep,
Dude,
yep.
I don't have the I'm a snowboarder through and through.
Yeah. Bro, me too.
I
Skateboard.
yeah, yeah, I love my carver. I'm a big carver guy.
Yeah, okay, get it.
I don't have the patience sometimes for golf. Like, yeah, like I'm perfectly fine when love going out with my buddies and like I play in a tournament with my friends every year. And but I'm not the best golfer
Oh, me
ever.
neither.
I win via trash talking and then just peer pressuring
Yeah.
whoever I'm competing against to drink more so their game gets screwed
I
up.
was just gonna say, if I commit to being the slowest drinker out there, I got a chance
Yeah.
because by hole 8, now your boy's streaking a
Yeah.
comeback.
But yeah, and golf's just funny because like every now and then, like I did the lessons when I was a kid and all that. Like every now and then it'll click and like I'll have 5 holes where I'm like,
Yeah,
where has this guy
where the
been?
fuck did that come
Where
from?
did that come from? Who is this guy? But I'm not consistent with golf. I'm not. I get
Yeah.
out maybe three,
What
four
about
times.
watching it though on TV? You watch any of it? It's painfully boring.
I'd rather watch paint dry, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like any in the soccer, like I used to not be a soccer fan at all, but my younger siblings are super big into soccer and I get it now. But if you just any sport, even if it's like freaking curling, I don't care. And
Yeah.
it's like either the Olympics, the World Cup, just the Champions League, like just a like you can tell there's a vibe in the
Yeah.
stadium, whatever's playing. You don't have to be into the sport to know that this is going to be electric to watch. Like the Masters, watching the Masters.
Dude, that is what came into my head when you said that because I
Oh,
don't watch golf. but your
Yeah.
boy sat down and watched the whole Masters. And when Rory hit that last putt in extra time and dropped to his knees, like I never in a million years saw myself crying over somebody succeeding in golf. But
That's
dude, I
awesome.
would let's go,
Yeah.
Rory! Like, bro, it was
Yeah.
touching.
And
So,
you know that dude has been working his tail off
oh,
to get to that
dude,
point, and it's like, and you know, and then you're like in your head, you're like, "That's me, but I'm in
yeah,
sales." You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's
yeah,
like,
no, exactly.
you know, so like that's kind of where you're like, "Yeah, that's so cool." And you love to see like people struggling and then coming out on top. That's
No, 100%, 100%. Check out my
that is
shit
the
real
best.
quick. Yeah, man. Well, dope. We'll cut it off. Great talking with you, bro.
Yeah, dude. We'll do
This
this
is
again.
the this is the first of many. Here, I'll stop the recording right here.